And good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Ultimate Dirt TV. Welcome to Coast Racing Network. It is Thursday night and Gambler Motorsports Thursday Night Thunder Fall Season, week number 7, live tonight from the virtual Lanier National Speedway, a 3/8 of a mile racetrack in distance in what should be a wonderful night of racing for your 358 modifieds, and then we'll have the big block modifieds to come. Again, a huge thank you, of course, Top Notch Trucking and Catalytic Recovery for their support here on Thursday night with the Coast to Coast Racing League. Good evening, race fans. Brett Wheeler with you for the call, and we have a field of 20 drivers assembling into the pit area for tonight as we get ready to take a look at heat race number 1. There'll be 3 heats on the program. Let's take a look at your first heat race coming up, as your starting lineup will be like this. Cody Graham lines up on the pole position to the outside of the front row. Scott Ramey lines up at a position number 2. Going to the second row from position number 3 with the 32 car of Anthony Morano to the outside. The Team RWB 513 car of Jeffrey Barker will start from position number 4. We go back to the 5th starter in car number 39. It's the Training Wheels Racing entry of Patrick Spangler. He will start alongside your Super Dirt Car Series Venom Racing car number 9 car of Brian Lawson from position number 6. And going shotgun at the back of this field in car number 11 from position number 7, that is Kelly Wheeler. Heat race number 1, rolling round behind the Sea King Foundation safety car as we are ready for a start. Cody Graham and Scott Ramey on the front row. Gambler Motorsports Thursday Night Thunder Fall Season, week number 7 here at Lanier National Speedway. Top Notch Trucking 358 modifieds on the program. Green flag is out and we're underway down into the first turn. Graham and Ramey go wheel to wheel. Who's going to have it? Scott Ramey has it. And here comes Cody Graham back to the inside, then to turn number 3, off for turn number 4. Ramey sweeps around the outside. Scott Ramey will lead lap number 1. Keep an eye on Anthony Morano, Jeffrey Barker, Patrick Spangler. Those drivers running 3rd, 4th, and 5th right there as Brian Lawson, Kelly Wheeler going to round out this 7-car field in heat race number 1. We'll see 2 6-car heat races, I believe. In fact, no, we'll see 2 7-car heat races and a 1 6-car heat race for the small block, the 358 modifieds on the program for tonight. Ramey still leads Graham. Now Morano to the outside. Morano going to move up to position number 2. Barker and Spangler, they will go side by side just to the right of your screen. We'll come to 4 down, 4 to run. Look out, Kelly Wheeler going to make a 3 wide on the bottom side on the exit of turn number 4 before they go single file. As they get down into turn number 1 and 2, everybody going to make tonight's 30-lap main event. It's all about starting positions at the moment. Right now, Scott Ramey leading this 7-car field in heat race number 1. Barker got some company with Wheeler as they work down into turn number 1 and 2. Wheeler on the low side. Barker stuck right through the middle of the racetrack. We come to 2 to go at the start-finish line. Scott Ramey in that 444 machine, continuing to lead the way, but not without the challenge coming from Anthony Morano in the Full Throttle Motorsports number 32 car. Morano closing the gap as they come to the white flag, nearly making contact there with the left rear quarter panel there and almost getting into the left rear tyre of Ramey. White flag is out, 1 lap left to go. Down the back straightaway for the final time. Ramey got some company once again, but Morano not going to have enough. Scott Ramey will hold on for heat 3. Well done to Scott Ramey, will lead all 8 laps of heat race number 1. Let's take a look at your results coming up on screen. Scott Ramey, Anthony Morano, Cody Graham, Patrick Spangler, Kelly Wheeler, your top 5. Jeffrey Barker and Brian Lawson to make up what is the 7 cars in heat race number 1. Heat number 2, they will line up like this on the pole position. It'll be the 7 car of Bob DeGood. To the outside of the front row, the 13 of Cullen Johnston from position number 2. Position number 3 with the 93 car of Jason Butterfield. From 4, it's the 20 of Blake Chapman. From 5, the 63 of Joseph Musso. From 6, the 18 of Logan Wentz. And from 7, it's the 28 of Jeff Sharp to make up 7 cars in heat race number 2. The Steve King Foundation safety car is off the racetrack. We're getting ready to go green off turn number 4 on the front straightaway, and Bob the Good got a good jump on the field. Cullen Johnston, was he asleep there on the outside of the front row? But right now, the Good leads. Keep an eye on Blake Chapman in that number 20 machine. But here comes Butterfield down to the inside in the black and pink machine. Everything's coming up. Chapman right now was Jason Butterfield goes to the inside. He's got Logan Wentz to the outside. And Musso Sharp. They're really closing in right now. Who was going to have that third spot on the racetrack? Butterfield and Chapman. Chapman still got it at the line. Meanwhile, Bob the Good continuing to lead the way from Cullen Johnston in that 13 machine right there, sitting in the runner-up position. Winner of heat race number 2 will start outside the front row of your 30-lap main event. Now you've got a battle on for second, third, fourth, and fifth right now. Johnston, Butterfield, Chapman, and Wentz as they work side by side between Johnston and Butterfield. Butterfield's got the rundown into turn number 3. He sticks it nearly down to the inside concrete wall. Jason Butterfield has the runner-up spot at the line, but here comes Johnston on the outside. But look at Blake Chapman. He was trying to go through the middle and trying to split the gap right there, but running a little bit higher up on the racetrack in turn number 3 and 4, not by a whole lot of margin. The Good still leading the way there, just shooting out of screen now. Now we'll come back in to the picture right there. Look at that, your top 7 on screen. Less than a second and at 1.5 seconds separating your top 7, your 7 drivers, I should say, in heat race number 2. Still watching Chapman, Johnston along with Logan Wentz. That's your battle for third, fourth, and fifth. Meanwhile, Bob the Good, white flag is out. 1 lap left to go. 3/8 of a mile in distance is all that separates Bob the Good and an outside front row starting position in tonight's main event. Jason Butterfield trying to go back to the inside in the turn number 3 and 4. Bob the Good going to pick up a heat race victory here tonight at Lanier National Speedway. Let's take a look at heat number 2 results, moving quickly through the program. Bob the Good, Jason Butterfield, Blake Chapman, your top 3. Logan Wentz, Jeff Sharp, around at your top 5. Cullen Johnston and Joseph Musso going to make up the drivers that will come home 6th and 7th in heat race number 2. Heat number 3, your third and final heat race of the night. They will line up like this. It's Alex Pomelo in the 397 to the pole position. To the outside of the front row, the catalytic recovery 518 machine of Joseph Grandy from 2. From position number 3, driving the dirt track bank car number 31 machine, that is Brandon Templeton from 4. Driving the Super Dirt Car Series car number 83 entry, that is Dylan Kinsey. And your third and final row, inside outside, driving the 007 machine, the AMR entry of Michael Vecchio will start position number 5. And to the outside, Chris Alvey in car number 96 will start from position number 6. Safety car is off, we're underway, green flag is out, heat number 3 is underway. Pomelo and Grandy, they go side by side. Grandy had a hell of a world finals all last week and finished up Monday night with 2 out of the 3 feature wins. Pomelo will lead, however, will lead lap number 1, but here comes Joseph Grandy. Now Brandon Templeton diving down to the inside. 3 wide off turn number 4 for the race lead. Pomelo, Grandy have the top 2 spots right now, but here comes that dirt track bank car number 31 machine of Brandon Templeton, Dylan Kinsey in the 83 car as well. There's a 4-car battle for the race lead, but right now Alex Pomelo leads the way over Joseph Grandy. Grandy switches from the outside to the inside of the racetrack into turn number 1 and 2, trying to get by the 397 machine of Pomelo. Cross flag sticks around, 4 down, 4 to run. Final race of the night. Grandy going to go around into the concrete wall. We stayed green. Pomelo, Brandon Templeton and Dylan Kinsey. That's now your new top 3. Alvey in 4th position. Vecchio 5th. Grandy back to the pits. Grandy will have to come from what will be position number 18 tonight in the main event. Coming into 2 to go at the completion of this lap. Templeton still trying to close in on the back of the 397 machine of Alex Pomelo. Pomelo, 2 more circuits around Lanier National Speedway to start inside the second row behind the pole sitter of tonight's 30-lap main event. In your Gambler Motorsports Thursday Night Thunder Fall Season Week number 7, the white flag is out. So he works out of turn number 2. It'll be 2 left-hand turns for Alex Pomelo, but here comes Brandon Templeton again, just to basically repeat what we've seen in the first two heat races. In the clean of the turn number 4, Alex Pomelo this time will get the win in heat race number 3. We'll bring up your results. Pomelo will lead the field. He led the field over Brandon Templeton, Dylan Kinsey, Chris Albee, Michael Vecchio, your top 5, and then Joseph Grady comes home in position number 6. We'll take a quick break here on Ultimate Dirt TV and on the Coast to Coast Racing Network. Your main event on the other side of this quick commercial break, live tonight from Lanier National Speedway.
How about the reverse for Lucy Olsen? She has her first point.
Yeah, Lucy Olsen, talented sophomore.
We are back live here on Ultimate Dirt TV, live on the Coast to Coast Racing Network, Gambler Motorsports, Thursday Night Thunder Fall Season, week number 7, live tonight from the virtual Lanier National Speedway. Good evening, race fans. Brett Wheeler with you for the call as we get set to take a look at your 30-lap main event. Scott Rayomi and Bob DeGood will make up row number 1. Row number 2 will see Alex Pomelo alongside Anthony Morano. Then go back to row number 3, Jason Butterfield alongside Brandon Templeton. Row 4 will be Cody Graham and Blake Chapman. Row number 5, Dylan Kinsey alongside Patrick Spangler. The back half of the field, Logan Wentz and Chris Albee will make up row number 6. Row number 7, it's going to be Kelly Wheeler and Jeff Sharp. Row 8, we'll see Michael Vecchio start alongside Jeffrey Barker. Your second last row, row number 9, Cullen Johnston alongside Joseph Grady. And your 10th and final row, Brian Lawson alongside Joseph Musso to make up your 20 cars in tonight's 13-lap main event. The Gambler Motorsports Thursday Night Thunder Top-Notch Trucking 358 Modifieds live tonight from the virtual Lanier National Speedway. It's time to go racing to find out who will take out the first feature event tonight. and who will also take good momentum going into the big block modifieds. Big block modifieds to come after this one, but for now, it is 358 modifieds, Gambler Motorsports, Thursday Night Thunder, full season, week number 7. Let's get dirty for 30. Ryomi and DeGood. DeGood's got the run down the back straight away. Murano, keep an eye on him from that outside of the second row. We're still seeing a lot of 2x2 action as Bob DeGood will lead lap number 1. Ryomi going to battle his teammate of Murano down into turn number 1 and 2. Ryomi's got second at the midway point of the back straight away. But now here comes Murano with a run on the outside. Ryomi still had second at the start-finish line. That's going to be all important if we were to get a yellow flag. But right now we're staying clean and green for the first part of the first couple of laps of this main event. Now Murano's got second at the line at the completion of lap number 3. Pomelo down to the inside. Look at Blake Chapman trying to go 3 wide through the middle on Templeton and Jason Butterfield. We are yellow. Dylan Kinsey in the 83. See if we can find out what happened here on the instant replay. Oh, Logan Wentz just gets into the back of him. So keep an eye on the 18. You see the 83 on screen there. The 18 just got a little too hot in the kitchen. Musso Vecchio stopped on the inside of the racetrack as well. Kinsey going to go around. That will send us under the yellow flag conditions for the first time as everybody lining up behind the Steve King Foundation safety car. So Bob DeGood will lead the opening 4 laps. Still 26 remaining. Lights are out. DeGood, Murano, Ryomi, Templeton, Pomelo, Chapman, Butterfield, Spangler, Graham and Albie. That's your top 10. Ready to go at green. Bob DeGood brings that Team RWB number 7 machine. The green flag goes up, the throttle goes down, and we're back underway as Bob DeGood continues to lead the way. But now here comes a challenge for the race lead. Murano dove down to the inside, down into turn number 3, but Bob DeGood's got it as Templeton tries to put the same sort of move on Scott Ryomi down into turn number 1 and 2. Ryomi and Templeton side by side. Templeton in the inside in the black, green and white number 31 machine. Ryomi in that red and black number 4 machine, the maroon and black number 4. Look at this, 2x2 challenges on for the race lead as well as Murano looking for the number 1 position, but Bob DeGood doesn't want to give it up just yet, not without a fight at the line. Oh boy, that is too close to call. Maybe Bob DeGood had it at the start-finish line. The only way to tell right now was if we were to see the yellow flag, but it may not matter because if we get to the start-finish line, well, we're not going to, because we're going to find out who led that lap. And DeGood looks like he's been given the spot back, so there must have been very little in it between DeGood and Murano. Just a few 1,000th of a second. So things are really starting to heat up in the kitchen here at Lanier National Speedway for what is Gambler Motorsports and Thursday Night Thunder Fall Season, week number 7. Still plenty of action live tonight here on the Coast to Coast Racing Network and live on Ultimate Dirt TV. Of course, tonight after your small block modifieds, we will have your big block modifieds right here from this same very venue. Of course, that'll be all broadcasted live, and then of course after that, after the catalytic recovery big block modifieds, we do have the NASCAR Next Gen Cup cars. They will be traveling to Las Vegas. There is no broadcast this week. Hopefully that is going to be rectified come next week. Again, just waiting on just sorting out all the finer details. Hopefully we get to have the NASCAR Next Gen Cup cars broadcasted live next week here on the Coast to Coast Racing Network. Here we go. 8 down, 22 to go, and it's the 7 car. Oh, Bob DeGood choosing that inside line. He'll slide it to the middle off turn number 2. Murano got some company with Ryomi this time as Ryomi now looks down to the inside. Templeton and Murano, who looked very strong on the inside of the racing. On the inside of the racing line. Now both those drivers, along with Blake Chapman, they're caught right through the middle of turn number 1 and 2. Ryomi's found his way back to the runner-up position, now trying to come after your race leader, Bob DeGood, just protecting down to the inside. And why wouldn't you? 10 down, 20 to go. Yellow is out. 63 of Joseph Musso. Let's take a look what happened on the instant replay. So just some problems there for the 9 car of Brian Lawson. So some engine dramas going on for that 9 machine, just somewhat gets into the left 3/4 from what we could assume there. And the 63 car does happen to be facing the wrong way, and he will come in a fast repair on that 63 car. And we'll see the 63 of Joseph Musso come back out in that Fast Eddie's 63. Looks like Brian Lawson back in the pits. Maybe some, like I said, some engine issues on that number 9 machine. It's probably going to force him out for the remainder of this feature event. So don't forget, Sunday night all returns back live here on the Coast to Coast Racing Network. Live and also on Extreme eSpeed TV Sunday Night Showdown. Here we go, back to green as they walk down the front straightaway one more time. And it's still Bob DeGood leading the way from Murano. I'm pretty sure we just went single file there on the restart. Chapman all over the back of Brandon Templeton as they work down the back straight. Templeton, however, closing in on Scott Ramy in that 4 machine. Ryomi still looking to hold on to a podium position. Still got plenty of laps left to run here at Lanier National Speedway. 18 to be exact and make it 17. As Chapman now gets to the outside of the 31 car, Brandon Templeton and Patrick Spangler trying to move past Alex Pomelo for that 6th spot on the racetrack. Now Spangler goes down to the inside, but watching just in front of them is Chapman in the 20 car and the 31 car, the dirt track bank number 31 car, Brandon Templeton. We're almost halfway home, and once we get to the halfway point of this race, Bob DeGood will have officially led 50% of this feature event. Can he go on to lead the back half of the 15 laps of the back half of this main event? Only time will tell. The cross flag sticks around 15 down, 15 to run. DeGood, Murano, Ryomi, that's your top 3. Then you go back to Chapman, Templeton, that making up your top 5. Pomelo, Spangler. Battle is on between Jason Butterfield, the 93, Logan Wentz in the 18, and Cody Graham in the 2 car. That's your battle for 8th, 9th, and 10th on the racetrack. Butterfield and Wentz continue to go side by side. One upstairs, one down to the inside of the racetrack in turns 3 and 4. Now, boy, look out, the 93 car got a huge run off turn number 4. He'll do the same, he'll get quite a good run off turn number 2, but it was an inside line, maybe top 3 and 4, and bottom 1 and 2. Closing in now, there is a challenge on for the race lead. Bob DeGood just trying to hold firm on the inside of the racing surface. Murano having to do things the hard way here tonight, trying to go through the middle, trying to go around the outside of that Team RWB number 7 machine. Now switches down to the inside, down into turn number 1 and 2. Next time by, at the completion of this lap, there'll be 20 down, 20 down, 10 to go. If you want to give us a 50 lap, I'll take a 50 lapper, but for now it's only 30. DeGood, Murano, Ryomi, Chapman, and Templeton. That's your top 5. You got Pomelo backed in 6th position, lurking in the shadows. A 1 second gap is all that separates. Is your top 6 drivers on screen. Now it goes less than that. Ryomi to the inside on Murano as they work down into 3 and 4 to tick another lap off into the books here at the Lanier National Speedway, the main event. Oh boy, we could be set for an absolute belter of a finish here with just 7.5 to go. To Good once again closing in on a checkered flag, but Morano, he now closes in on the rear bumper of that 7 machine, dives down to the inside into turn number 1 and 2. To Good still got it through 1 and 2. Morano has to be careful not to give up that outside line because Scott Rayomi's going to take it, and he's taken it, but he hasn't taken second at the line. Morano still got it with 6 to run, but now not for long because Rayomi, he's found it right through the middle of the racetrack. He'll do the same down into 3 and 4. Bob the Good, look out, here comes the 4 car. Scott Rayomi, he won heat race number 1. He started on pole of tonight's 30-lap main event. It was the outside groove that started off very good at the start of this feature event with Bob the Good getting to the race lead. Oh boy, stand up, we're in for a barn burner of a finish coming to 3 to run. Rayomi, Morano, here comes Chapman now. 3 circuits for Bob the Good to lead all 30 laps here tonight at Lanier National Speedway. Chapman will now go to the outside on Morano down the front straight away. Not only do we keep an eye on that battle for that final spot on the podium, but here it comes. White flag is out. Templeton high, wide and handsome. But right now, one more time around Lanier National Speedway. Rayomi gets into the back. Here comes Chapman to the outside. Chapman looking for the race win into turn number 3 and 4. Final time, who's going to get it? Chapman to Good. Oh, what are you doing, cameraman? You've just missed the greatest finish of all. Oh, can you believe it? Blake Chapman has stolen it. Blake Chapman by 0.026 of a second. Oh, Blake Chapman, Bob the Good, Brandon Templeton, Anthony Morano, Scott Rayomi, your top 5. Quickly, let's take a look at that instant replay. Let's take a look. Instant replay coming up on screen. There's your finish. Final time. This was a replay. The Good Chapman. Can you believe it? What a way to finish off. So this is coming to the white flag, a replay of what we just seen. Look at this, Chapman was 4th at the line. The contact from Rayomi into Good. Templeton was 5th. And look at this finish. Let's try and stop it right there. That is your finish, and Blake Chapman. And that goes to show you right there at how close this race was. Holy cow. Let's bring up your feature race results right now. Here it is on screen again. Chapman gets the win over to Good and Templeton. Morano, Rayomi, your top 5. Pomelo, Wentz, Graham, Butterfield, and Spangler, your top 10. We go over the page. Grandy, Sharp, Kinsey, Barker, Wheeler, Alvey, Vecchio, Musso, Johnson, and Lawson. A chaotic and hectic way to open up the first of 2 races on the program. Let's go trackside, chat to the man that comes home 3rd place tonight. It's the 31 car of Brandon Templeton. Brandon, congratulations on this 3rd place finish. Well, I mean, coming to the white flag, you were sitting in 5th spot, and you somehow walk away with the 3rd place. You've got to be happy with that one.
Yeah, I didn't really expect that one, towards the end. I just thought it was going to be riding it out to the finish line. But I thought, with that last restart, I thought, well, it won't hurt anything for the last 3 laps to just throw it up in the marbles against the outside wall. Nobody had really tried it for about 20 laps, So I thought, throw it up there. And there really was something there, I just didn't have enough time to really work past the traffic. But, it seemed like that top was really coming in. So I have to keep an eye on that in the big blocks.
Talk us about trying to work your way again, try and keep your way up the front, but also trying to maneuver all over this racetrack. Because guys at the start of the race they were on the middle of the racetrack. Then guys sort of ventured down to the the bottom of the racetrack. Then they went back to the bottom. As you said, that top side was starting to come into play, but. Talk about what it was like, only having a couple of cautions in this 30-lap main event, and really having to maneuver around this racetrack to get that best possible finish for that 31 car.
Yeah, I'll take it. It was a lot of fun. We were working traffic the whole time, and for the most part, it was really clean race for as much as we were side by side and close to each other up front. So I'll take it. It was a good, fun race. Had a blast.
Brandon, well done on third place here tonight. Before we let you go for the 350A modified portion of the night, we'll let you thank everybody involved on this 31 car.
I got to thank Jay with the Dirt Track Bank for supporting us and supporting Got Your Six Racing Network and Friday Night Lights. They've stepped up, and that's really cool. It's going to be a fun season starting out tomorrow, so come out and join us if you haven't signed up. Got to thank Extreme Images, Maley's Makery, Big C's Lawn Care, Hammer Down Racing Team, you for doing the broadcast, Roger and everybody behind the scenes with Coast to Coast. Everybody, sponsoring the divisions. It's a pretty cool deal. Venom Racing, I know, helps out with some of these, so thanks to them and Lawson and Salas, those guys, I know they like the mods. So thanks to them for supporting it and keeping it going. It's a lot of fun. And pretty much thanks for everyone watching at home.
There we go. Brandon Templeton home in third place. Home in second place tonight. And he was just 0.026 of a second of leading all 30 laps here tonight. But he leads 29 and 3/4 of this one. Bob the Good. Bob. Second spot,
yeah.
This one must suck and must sting a little bit.
Yes, it sure does. It sure does.
Started outside front row. You got to the lead. You had the lead for all of that race, other than those final few feet coming to the line.
Yeah.
Talk us what was going through your mind after the little contact there from Scott, that obviously unintentional, but talk us what was going through your mind there as you worked down the back straight on the white flag lap.
I really didn't see the contact coming. It was kind of caught me off guard, and it got me sideways, and I scrubbed off a little bit of speed, and that's all it took. And then I was kind of a sitting duck for Blake to run me down, and it took him all the way around the track to get it done, but he did, and I don't know. Margin of victory was not very much.
0.026. So I mean, you're looking at less than 3/100ths of a second. But as much as this one stinged, does it give you good momentum, good progress, and going into the big box coming up here in a few moments' time?
Well, I'm not going to be able to race the big block race tonight. I've got another commitment to go to, but it should help going forward. I mean, I learned some things. Particularly in the warm-up, and I think that that's going to help from here on out.
Well, Bob, I'll tell you what, looking forward to seeing you back next week. Like I said, this one, I feel like I can hear it in your voice. This one certainly does sting just a little bit. But Bob, hats off on a hell of a drive here tonight. No doubt before we let you go. Sponsors, shout out to all that good stuff, buddy, who helps you on this 7 car.
Yep. Malcolm Mills, Mill Riding, and Coast to Coast Racing League. Like to thank them. Roger Craig for everything he does in the league, and that's it.
We can certainly hear the disappointment in Bob the Good's voice, but nonetheless, a stellar drive from that 7 car. But, well, getting the victory here tonight and leaving it till the very few final feet of this one, it is the 20 car of Blake Chapman. Blake, coming to one to go, you were 4th at the line. Did you think that you had any sort of chance at winning this one?
No, I didn't think there was even a shot. I mean, I was just kind of waiting for those guys because they were racing hard about the last 10 laps, and I was pretty consistent with my line, and I was just kind of waiting for something to happen. If they, get together or whatever, and I still, if that happened with 5 laps left to go, I didn't expect to win. I mean, hopefully I could pick off a guy or two, but yeah, I'm not sure what happened there on that last lap, but sometimes it's better to be lucky than to be good.
Well, proved to be the case tonight. Both lucky and good at the same time, Blake. For the most part, you sat around 4th, 5th all night long. I mean, was it just tough to pass out there? Because, those guys out in front, like you said, they were racing each other hard, and you guys just sort of unable to get close enough to go for that slot or anything.
Yeah, it was pretty tough because that middle line was fast all night long, and you could look high or look low, but it was tough to build up enough momentum to get around a guy if he's running the middle too. So I ventured up top and down low a little bit, and I didn't like what I felt up there, and so I just stuck with the middle, and I really didn't expect to win that race. I kind of feel bad taking it away from Bob. He ran a terrific race, and he does a lot for the league. I'm sure a lot of guys would have liked to see him win this, but all in all, it was a really, really fun race.
Blake, well done on the win here tonight at Lanier in the Top Notch Striking 358 modifieds. We'll let you take everybody involved on this 20 car.
Yeah, I got to thank my parents and grandparents for watching and supporting, all the guys at the Krite Sim Racing Team. I got to thank Preston at Epsilon Sprint Wraps and Andy at AJ Custom Creations. I got to thank Galen's Gourmet Popcorn. You can head over to their website and use code CART for 15% off some of their delicious South Dakota homegrown popcorn. And I got to thank you for putting this broadcast on, Brett.
Blake, well done on the win. Hopefully we'll see you back in the big blocks very shortly.
Thank you.
There we go, Blake Chapman, your winner here tonight from Lanier National Speedway in your 358 modified division. In the thanks to Top Notch Striking, well, we've got our catalytic recovery big block modifieds coming up in a few moments' time. So with that being said, what we'll do, we'll take this opportunity right now to step aside here on Ultimate Dirt TV, step aside here on the Coast to Coast Racing Network, and come back with your big block modifieds from Lanier National Speedway. I can tell you, I think we're already looking at about 15 or 16 drivers signed into the pit area for tonight already. So with that being said, we'll pay some bills, come back on the other side of this. You're watching Gambler Motorsports Thursday Night Thunder Fall Season Week number 7 live tonight from the virtual Lanier National Speedway, live on Ultimate Dirt TV and live on the Coast to Coast Racing Network.
Well, good evening, everybody. Welcome to our weekly race chat. Adam Ross and Clinton Jeffrey are live and interactive every Tuesday night. Rivals Race Chat is your home for race discussion, debate, news, interviews, and more. They'll even take your questions and comments live on the air and talk to some of the newsmakers each week. Tune in every Tuesday night at 8 p.m. on GeForce TV.
For Lucy Olson, she has her first point.
Yeah, Lucy Olson, talented sophomore.
As we welcome you back live to Ultimate Dirt TV, live on the Coast to Coast Racing Network, live from Lanier National Speedway, your Gambler Motorsports Thursday Night Thunder, fall season, week number 7. And now we're just seeing the top-notch trucking 358 modifieds have their run. Now it is time for the catalytic recovery. Big block modifieds once again here from Lanier National Speedway. Good evening, race fans. Brett Wheeler with you for the call. And once again, a field of 21 drivers have signed into the virtual pit area for the big block modifieds as they get prepared and in preparation for what will be the 7th week of this season. Next week, on Thursday night, we will travel to the longest dirt track on the iRacing.com service, USA International Speedway, followed by what will be week number 9. On Thursday night, we go to Kern County Raceway, the newest dirt track that we have on the service. Then week number 10, we go to Lucas Oil. In the week number 11, in the penultimate week of the season, we head to Williams Grove Speedway, following up with week number 12, the final week of the season before your silly season. Week number 13, we round it off in Rossburg, Ohio, live from the virtual Eldora Speedway. Can we look forward to having your company over the next month and a bit to wrap up what will be the fall season for 2023. With that being said, it is time to go racing from Lanier National Speedway. As we get ready to take a look, randomized grids for heat race number 1. Let's take a look at how they line up here on the pole position. It's going to be, not that one, on the pole position, it's going to be the 93 car of Jason Butterfield. Coleman and lines up the 24 from position number 2. Position number 3 with the 39 car, Patrick Spangler. Position number 4, the 31 of Brandon Templeton. From 5, it's the 28 of Jeff Sharp. From 6, the 32 of Anthony Morano. And from 7, the 83 of Dylan Kinsey. So heat number 1, about to roll here at Lanier National Speedway behind the Steve King Foundation safety car. And our field is set once again. Safety car will come in field. And Jason Butterfield, Coleman, and initial starts are on the iRacing green flag, and he restarts will be on the leader of turn number 4. Simple standard rules and standard procedures apply. We are green for the big block modifieds, the catalytic recovery big block modifieds, and Jason Butterfield is going to lead for the first time down the back straight away. Then we go back to Spangler on the inside right now. Spangler almost, and now in fact has found his way to the runner-up spot. Oh boy, look out, Spangler. We could be going yellow. No, we're going to stay green for the moment. Spangler is going to park himself in the back for this one. Not too happy about it. That didn't obviously mean to get into the back of the 93 car Butterfield. Butterfield ended up going around, but that gives Kyle Moonen the race lead. Although Brandon Templeton, Anthony Morano, both these drivers finished top 5 in the small blocks. Thanks to top-notch trucking main event. We'll see if they can give themselves a decent starting spot in tonight's 30-lap feature event. But right now, it's Kyle Moonen. 4 down and 4 to run. Moonen sending it upstairs into turn number 1. Down to the low side, sliding it to the middle goes Brandon Templeton, the 31, and Morano doing what Morano does best. He tries to stick it down to the inside, drifts up a little bit, just gets in the slick and just skates across the racetrack. Butterfield back to the pit area along with Patrick Spangler leading the 5 cars on the racing surface, and 3 of those are battling it out for the race lead. 2 to run. Morano has got the race lead, but not for long. Moonen back to the outside. Templeton thought about trying to go through the middle, trying to go with a different route to the number 1 position, but Kyle Moonen still holds on to the top spot. Look at him work the wheel as he works the wheel too much, and the car jumped the cushion. Oh, flipping wildly there as they work on the white flag lap. Morano Back straight away for the final time into turn number 3. Anthony Morano is going to pick up heat race number 1. He will start on pole of your 30-lap feature event. Oh boy, what a way to open up heat race number 1. Anthony Morano gets the win over Brandon Templeton in second. Jeff Sharp will come home with third position. Fourth, it'll be Dylan Kinsey. Coleman and rounds out your top 5. Jason Butterfield, Patrick Spangler will come home 6th and 7th position. Heat number 2 lining up like this on the pole position. It's going to be the 63 car of Joseph Musso to the outside of the front row. Your 358 modified main event winner of Blake Chapman from position number 2. Position number 3, we see the 18 car of Logan Wentz line up alongside Scott Riomi in the 4 car from position number 4. From 5, it's the 161 of Terry Landis. From 6, it's the 61 of Jacob Musso. And from 7, it's the 007 entry of Michael Vecchio. So heat 2, cars rolling as they've been given the 1 green signal right there from race control. And the Steve King Foundation safety car about to pull to the infield. And we're getting ready to light them up once again here at Linear National Speedway. 7 cars, 8 laps on the board. Winner of heat number 2 will start outside of Anthony Morano on the front row. Who will it be? Will it be Musso or Chapman? Chapman already picking up, and I wouldn't say picking up, he stole the main event victory from Bob DeCourt as Joseph Musso will lead lap number 1. We go back to last week in the World Finals. Remember, it was Jacob and Joseph Musso who went 1 and 2 on what was last Thursday night. See how they prepare themselves here as we work on what will be the 3rd lap complete of Blake Chapman railing it around the outside, sending it upstairs, selling some t-shirts while he's at it. Logan Wentz going to try and follow the rear bumper of that 20 machine. Now Logan Wentz looking to make this a 3-car battle for the top 3 spots, make that the top spot on the racetrack. Although Logan Wentz has gotten to the outside there, and Joseph Joseph that is, I'll spit that out eventually. Still stuck on the inside racing line. I think the outside is probably the preferred line. Look at Jacob Musso in the 61K. He's showing in how it's all done. As now Logan Wentz dies down to the inside. And that's a very risky and gutsy call to make after just 5 completed laps. Doesn't need to follow the 20 car. Oh, Blake Chapman alone. Logan Wentz looks very good. They nearly make a bit of contact. I think there was contact right at the start-finish line. Very little in it, but there was some sort of contact between Chapman and Wentz. Wentz was able to keep it going. Wentz got a little tight there in the center of 3 and 4 with 1 lap left to go for Blake Chapman to start, and looking to start outside pole position of tonight's main event. Final time into turn number 3, off for turn number 4. Musso with a big run. Speaking of Musso, Musso went with a big time bombs on Wentz and Riomi. Heat 2 results. Scott Riomi, unfortunately, was sitting in around the 4th position. Jacob Musso went for the big Hail Mary slider, but there is heat number 2 results. Chapman gets the win over Logan Wentz. Joseph and Jacob Musso home in 3rd, 4th. Michael Vecchio rounds out your top 5. Terry Landis and Scott Riomi will come home positions number 6 and 7. Heat number 3. Lining up on the racetrack, Cody Graham in the 2 car will start on pole. Jeffrey Barker in the 513 will start from position number 2. Position number 3 will be the 122 of Brian Dickens. From 4, it's the 96 of Chris Albee. Position number 5 of the 13 car of Cullen Johnson. The 1 of Zachary Bardsley lines up at a position number 6. And the 397 of Alex Pomelo will start from position number 7. So waiting for a couple of cars to make their way onto the racetrack as we get set for what will be the 3rd and final heat race of the night. Looks like Cody Graham and Brian Dickens will not make the call. As we wait for the Steve King Foundation safety car to roll away, it does. So that's going to move up what will be Cullen Johnston now to the pole position. He was scheduled to line up from position number 5, and Alex Pomelo was scheduled to start position number 7. He's now going to move to position number 3. So Graham and Dickens, they've got their work cut out for him. Should they come back for the main event? 5 cars, heat number 3, 8 laps on the board. Green flag is out. So work down into turn number 1, off for turn number 2, 3 wide down the back straight away. Cullen Johnston just trying to hold his line, just trying to hold the nerve. But Alex Pomelo, as it's going to stand from the 7th starting position, although he slotted into position number 3, has found his way to the race lead. Barker still trying to work over the 13 car of Johnston. Johnston looking to does get a little loose there on the exit of turn number 4. Bardsley down to the inside in that number 1 machine. Now looking for the runner-up spot as they work down the back straightaway. Barker finding himself back there in position number 4. Barker trying to get by the 13 car of Cullen Johnston. Barker now successfully completes the pass down into turn number 3. Johnson, can he rail back around the outside of the 513 car? Almost got to the side of the 513, the mega plumbing entry. Pomelo opening up over a 1 second lead. It's a 1.3. It'll almost go to 1.4 seconds at some stages throughout the course. Oh, there it is. Goes 1.4, 1.5. Then, well, Bardsley closes in down the back straight away. 2 laps left to run here in heat race number 3. Final heat race of the night before we'll take a break during the warm-up session and then come back with our 30-lap main event. Bardsley could have some company right now with Jeffrey Barker, although the white flag is out. 1 lap displayed. The white flag for Alex Pomelo into turn number 3. Bardsley, Barker, who's going to have second and third off of turn number 4. Pomelo will win. Bardsley holding the second. Barker will grab third. Alvey fourth and Johnston. Going to round out your top 5 heat number 3 results coming up on screen. Here it is. Alex Pomelo with the win. Zachary Bardsley second. Jeffrey Barker third. Chris Alvey, Cullen Johnson. Round out your 5 drivers for heat number 3. Graham and Dickens did not make the call. That being said, we'll take this opportunity right now to step aside here on Ultimate Dirt TV. Step aside here on the Coast to Coast Racing Network. Come back with your 30-lap main event. Gambler Motorsports Thursday Night Thunder. Live from Lanier National Speedway in your catalytic recovery big block modifieds. Right, well, turns out I'm actually a little bit of a spud because I realised I've just played the wrong video. So apologies about that one. I was wondering why we were going green and my ad was, again, I wasn't paying attention. But welcome you back to Ultimate Dirt TV. Welcome you back to Coast Racing Network. Big Block Modifieds, thanks to Catalytic Recovery. Take a look at your starting lineup, your 21 drivers. Row number 1 going to be Anthony Morano alongside Blake Chapman. Row 2 is going to be Alex Pomelo and Brandon Templeton. Row 3, Logan Wentz and Zachary Bardsley. Row 4, Jeff Sharp and Joseph Musso. Row 5, it'll be Jeffrey Barker and Dylan Kinsey. Row 6, Jacob Musso and Chris Albee. Row 7, Kyle Moonen and Michael Vecchio. Row 8, Cullen Johnston and Jason Butterfield. Row 9, Terry Landis, Cody Graham. Row 10, Patrick Spangler and Scott Rayomi. And if we get there, the final row, final starter will be Brian Dickens in the 122 machine. So again, looks like Graham and Dickens did not make the call, so a field of 19 cars take to the racetrack. Lights are out. And we send them around one more time. Your Catalytic Recovery Big Block Modified, Catalytic Recovery Big Block Modified main event. Let's get dirty for 30 here at Lanier National Speedway. 19 cars, 30 laps. Who will claim victory? Who will reign supreme here at Lanier? Let's find out with Morano. Morano going to lead the opening lap, watching Chapman battle it out with Alex Pomelo. Chapman again. Slides it up to the cushion, slides it up to the concrete wall, that inside line. Working a treat at the moment here in the opening couple of laps. Logan Wentz now looking to find his way quickly into a podium position as Chapman is figured well it's best to get downstairs. Look at Brandon Templeton. Figured out late in that 358 modified main event that the top side was just starting to come in but didn't have enough laps or time to make it work, make it stick. Chapman back to the outside on Pomelo as they drag race off turn number 2. Blake Chapman has now found his way to position number 2, but Pomelo says, not just yet. You know I want that spot just as much as you do. So now you've got Pomelo and Chapman. Pomelo's got second at the line. And as these two continue to battle out, it does two things right now. It brings the 18 car of Logan Wentz into the picture to make it a three-way battle for that runner-up position, but it also lets Anthony Morano sweep away from the rest of the field and drive away from the competition, but only time will tell on how big that will be unless we get a caution. At this stage, Morano, he's opened up 1/10 of a second. Look out, Wentz, boy! There was not a whole lot of room left on the outside. It was a lane, and that's all that Logan Wentz needed as Blake Chapman. He was trying, I don't want to say he was trying to squeeze him up. He was certainly leaving a lane. He wasn't leaving much of a lane, but hey, why would you? When you're racing for a podium position, when you're racing for a win in a championship, you do absolutely anything possible without wrecking the guy intentionally to get and hold on to a podium spot. Terry Landis around on the exit of turn number 4. And we've seen it there. We've seen the likes of Pomelo, Wentz, Chapman there to take evasive action. And that will bring out our first caution of the night. So the 161 car of Terry Landis will find himself on the virtual tow. And he's back in the pit area. But that battle between Chapman, Pomelo, Wentz. For that second, third, and fourth spot after letting Anthony Morano shoot out to almost a second lead. It's really going to open up things later on tonight. So still a lot on the line for these drivers. We get ready to go back green. the 32 car of Morano. Coming to the green, 8 down, 22 to go. And the green flag flies with Morano stopping the throttle down to the floor. We're back underway. Oh boy, Zachary Bardsley. It was all sorts of out of shape in the middle of turn number 1 and 2. They may have had a helping hand, but he kept it pointed in the right direction. Didn't lose any spots, and we stayed green. There's Jeff Sharp, and the 28 machine has now found his way up into position number 3, and Logan went from battling for a podium position. Now he's staying just inside the top 5. Pomelo as well. Pomelo gets into the back of Sharp. Let's keep an eye on this battle for 3rd, 4th and 5th right now, but also keep an eye on the gap between your leader of Anthony Morano and Blake Chapman. It's down to less than 2/10 of a second. If I see that it's all going to change very quickly, we will certainly go back to the race lead. But right now, watching Sharp and Pomelo. Yellow is out. Yellow is out. Good battle happening for 1st and 2nd, but also good battling happening for 3rd and 4th. And I'm sure there is a number of battles all throughout this 19-car field. So the catalytic recovery big block modified main event is under the caution flag behind the Steve King Foundation safety car. We'll get ready to go back. Green flag. Lights are out. Back to green. Morano and Chapman. This time it's 12 down with 18 to run. And where does Chapman go on this restart? He goes a lane higher than what Morano is. Morano was right up on the inside wall through 1 and 2. He'll now move above it, just above that apron line. And now he's going to stick down to the inside once again. Morano still the race leader from Blake Chapman. Sharp, Wentz, Pomelo, your top 5. Bardsley now trying to move into position number 5. Look at Dylan Kinsey had to check up there to stop from getting into the back of Zachary Bardsley in the 1 machine, allowing Barker to get to the inside on Kinsey. Sharp trying to come after the podium, and once again, cross flag sticks are out. 15 down, 15 to run. And it's Anthony Morano from Blake Chapman, Logan Wentz, Jeff Sharp, Alex Pomelo. That's your top 5. Let's go back and watch Blake Chapman in that 20 machine. How can he navigate his way to the back end of that 32 car? And then how will he navigate the way around that 32? Will he get lucky like he did in the 358 modified? Because going to the white flag, he was sitting in 4th. We'll see if things will play a little differently for this one for Blake Chapman. We'll see if he can sweep Linear National Speedway night on fall season week number 7 of the Gambler Motorsports Thursday Night Thunder Series. Live on Ultimate Dirt TV, live on the Coast to Coast Racing Network. Morano starting to open up that door just a little bit, and I'll tell you what, if you give him a sniff, he's gonna take it. Wentz trying to close in now on the battle to make it a 3-way dance for the race lead, but just losing touch there was Logan Wentz. Now Pomelo to the inside on Sharp as they work down into the 1st and 2nd turn down the back straightaway. Sharp looking to come back at Pomelo. Pomelo was good in the opening handful of laps of this exchange main event. Pomelo just opens up a little bit of a breathing room back to Jeff Sharp there. Morano, Chapman, Wentz, your top three. Once again, back up front, watching your leader and your runner-up driver of Blake Chapman. Morano still leads with what will be 7 laps left to run. And can he do it? Although you get the feeling right now he's done exactly what Bob DeGood had done and led every lap of this feature event, and the yellow flag comes out. Ooh boy, things are getting spicy. It's getting hot in the kitchen. And with 6 to run, Morano, right now it is his race to lose. And with what should be single file restarts as well too, folks. Single file restarts should be in order behind the Steve King Foundation safety car. Morano and their Full Throttle Motorsports number 32 machine. He can taste victory. He looks at victory lane on the front straight and rolls past it, thinks that's where I want to be in 6 laps time once we go back to green. And it's only a matter of time until we find out which one of these drivers will reign supreme. Here in the Catalytic Recovery, Big Block Modified main event, as right now Morano leads him down through the first and second turn once again. Chapman, Wentz, Pomelo and Sharp again. That's your top 5 as they work with just 5 laps left to run. It's hard to know where to look right now because I want to look at this battle. Oh, look out, we're going to go yellow. Zachary Barnsley, Jeffrey Barker involved in a little scuffle there on the in turns 1. Barker just got into the back of the one machine that looked like a Barnsley. See instant replay on screen. Well, it looks like, it almost looked like where Barker had nowhere to go. Barnsley looked like he just slowed right down. By the way, both those drivers, they have been sent to the tail end of the field. Now we have 4 to run. Lights still flashing on your Steve King Foundation safety car. Four remaining. Coming to green. Morano, Chapman and Wentz, your top 3. Which of these 3 drivers will we talk to on the podium post-race? We're going to find out because it is not a whole lot of racing left to be had here at Lanier. In the Catalytic Recovery Big Block Modified main event, they're 3 wide between Sharp, Moonen and Pomelo. That is your battle for 4th, 5th and 6th happening on the racetrack, but we stay focused right now on what is happening up near the front of the field. Anthony Morano is now 2 circuits away from visiting victory lane here at Lanier National Speedway and a lap and a half away from stopping Blake Chapman, going back to back in the 358 and big block modified main event victories. White flag is out. 4 turns, 3/8 of a mile. Who will it be? Into 1 and 2, and it's going to be Anthony Morano. Chapman is all over the back of him, down the back straight away. Final time, final couple of left-hand turns. Morano sticks it down to the inside. Anthony Morano's going to go to victory lane. Anthony Morano will win your Catalytic Recovery Big Block Modified main event over Blake Chapman, who comes home in second spot. Logan Wentz third. Fourth at the line will bring up your results will be Jeff Sharp. Fifth is going to go to Alex Pomelo. Sixth will be Coleman and Dylan Kinsey, Joseph Musso, Scott Rayomi, Patrick Spengler. That is your top 10. 11th is going to be Marco Vecchio, Jacob Musso. 12th, Brandon Templeton. 13th, Chris Albee. 14th, 15th, it's Zachary Barsley. 16th, Jeffrey Barker. Cullen Johnston in 17th on the last car on the lead lap, and the 2 cars finishing a couple of laps down. Terry Landis 2 laps down in 18th position, and 19th is going to be Jason Butterfield. Of course, we know Cody Graham, Brian Dickens did not make the call for your 30-lap main event. But now it is time to go trackside and chat to your top 3 and how they finished here at Linear National Speedway. We'll chat to the man that comes home in 3rd place tonight. It is going to be Logan Wentz. In fact, we'll just wait for Logan to jump out of the virtual race car and in he comes home in 3rd place tonight. It's Logan Wentz. Logan, congratulations on 3rd place. And boy, that was the 3rd place. You really had to earn it and work it tonight.
Yeah, I was having a little bit of trouble getting by Pavlov, but he made a couple of mistakes and I was able to take my chances and made it work.
A lot of drivers using that inside line, some drivers using the middle of the racetrack again, that cushion. It just didn't like that the top side was the place to be, whether it was the 358s or even the big blocks. It just almost looked like that top side was pretty much near non-existent here tonight.
Yeah, I thought it was going to be there in warm-ups, but when it came to feature time, it wasn't really. I tried running the top first couple of laps. I got around 1 or 2 people, but it just wasn't really working. So I moved down to the bottom and started moving along.
Logan, hell of a job here tonight in 3rd place. Before we let you go, we'll let you thank everybody involved on this 18 machine.
I think Moreno Racing, Super Dirt Car Series, JT Screen Printing, WGG, Epilepsy Foundation of America, and Third FX Designs for doing all the paints.
There we go. Logan Wentz home in 3rd place, home in 2nd spot tonight. He picked up the main event win in the 358 Modifieds thanks to top-notch trucking, but your Catalytic Recovery Big Block Modified main event runner-up is Blake Chapman. Blake, well, he didn't get as lucky as this time, but man, I'll tell you what, you really stuck it to the 32 car of Anthony Morano, but a 2nd spot we'll have to do here tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. I'll take it. It seemed like it almost just rubbered up there on the bottom, so didn't want to move off of that at all. And after seeing what happened in that last race, I wasn't going to push it too hard and cause any trouble. So on a track like that, I'll definitely take 2nd.
I was just saying to Logan that that the top side again really wasn't the place to be if you weren't down on the bottom or in the middle. If you were up top, you were getting pretty much hung out to dry.
Yeah, absolutely. That's weird. I mean, it seems like at most tracks, the top's the place to be, and every time I've raced at Linear, it seems like that top usually comes in pretty good. But tonight was different for whatever reason. I'm not sure why, but yeah, I'm not a huge fan of running the top in these things, so I'll definitely take a feature that's down low for sure.
Certainly keep it in the notes, in the memory banks for maybe another night whenever we come back here next. But Blake, congratulations on this podium finish once again here tonight, this time in your Catalytic Recovery Big Block Modifieds. Blake, before we let you go, we'll let you thank everybody involved on this 20 car.
Yeah, I got to thank my parents and grandparents for watching and supporting, all the guys down at the Kreitz Sim Racing team, and I got to thank Preston at Epsilon Sprint Wraps and Andy at AJ Custom Creations. I got to thank Malcolm's Mills Mill Riding, Galen's Gourmet Popcorn. They got some delicious popcorn. You can head over and check them out on their website, and don't forget to use code CART at checkout for 15% off some of their delicious popcorn. And I got to thank you for putting this broadcast on.
Blake, right on a 2nd spot. We'll see you back next week.
Thank you.
Blake Chapman home in second spot. And your winner tonight in the Catalytic Recovery Big Block Modified main event win goes to the man that starts on pole tonight, the 32 car of Anthony Morano. Anthony, congratulations on this victory. And well, you had your challenges and you had your company from behind you, but cool, calm, and collected. You must be nervous, but thrilled about that result.
I was definitely nervous seeing Blake's name there. I was like, yeah, it's going to make it a little more tricky. But, I mean, the track got real one line. So it was just my main thing was don't spin the tires, come out of the corner. He's going to blow my doors off. So that was pretty much all he could do and hold on.
What was going through your mind? You had a couple of cautions inside the last 10 laps, of course, making it single file. That obviously helped you because then you didn't have to worry about Blake on your outside. Do you think the single file restarts helped? Do you think they helped you, or would you have preferred to go a double file?
I think double file would have helped me out a little bit because then he would have had to move up the track, and then Logan would have been underneath him, or I think Alex was there for a little while too. But yeah, I would have had to move him up the track, but then I would have had Logan on my rear end trying to do the same thing. So I mean, single file helps out because you get to jump on the restart. So I mean, I'll take that any day with 10 to go, especially with Blake behind me.
Well, Anthony, congratulations on the victory here tonight in the Catalytic Recovery Big Block Modified main event here at Lanier National Speedway. Gambler Motorsports Thursday Night Thunder Fall Season Week number 7. Anthony, we'll let you thank everybody involved on this 32 car before you get out of here and celebrate.
I got to thank my wife, Sherry, all the boys over at Full Throttle Motorsports, Dean at Super Dirt Car, DJ Sim Shop, GripHack.com, Swan Speed Shop, and Hi Mom Lens with Logan Wentz.
Anthony, well done on the win. We'll see you back next week at USA.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
There we go. Anthony Morano, your winner here tonight from the Lanier National Speedway in the Big Block Modifieds, thanks to Catalytic Recovery. We've still got one race on the program to come here on the Coast to Coast Racing Network. We'll bring in Marty. Marty, you got NASCAR Next Gen Cup Series at Las Vegas. How you feeling?
Next Gen's at Vegas never disappoint here, Brett. So we're looking forward to it. Coming in once again at the last second. Should be a lot of fun. Just a heads up, if the stream does not come back, because we had issues last time I came out at the last second. If the stream does not come back and does not resolve, head over to the Slide Job Racing Network YouTube channel, where we will have the stream set for you. That's the backup just in case, as always.
All right, well, with that being said, what we're going to do, we're going to take a little break here on the Coast to Coast Racing Network. Myself on Ultimate Dirt TV, we are going to head on out of here. But again, make sure you stick around. Like Marty just said, if the stream does fall here on the Coast to Coast Racing Network, we'll put a link in the YouTube chat on where you can go. And we'll put it out on the social media page on where you can watch. But for now, it's going to be here on the Coast to Coast Racing Network and Slide Job Racing Network. But until next time, I'm Brett Wheeler, signing off, saying good night.
Well, good evening, everybody. Welcome to our weekly race chat.
Adam Ross and Clinton Jeffrey are live and interactive every Tuesday night. Rivals Race Chat is your home for race discussion, debate, news, interviews, and more. They'll even take your questions and comments live on the air and talk to some of the newsmakers each week. Tune in every Tuesday night at 8 p.m. on GeForce TV.
For Lucy Olson, she has her first point.
Yeah, Lucy Olson, talented sophomore.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Sin City, the Las Vegas Motor Speedway, where tonight we've got a good one around the corner. The Next Gens Coast to Coast Racing League, and tonight we will punch the first ticket into the Championship 4 if a round of 8 driver wins. So glad you could join us at the Coast to Coast Racing Network. I'm Marty Sakala. Let's talk about the playoff picture here as things stand. 8 drivers now remain with a chance at the Cup Trail Championship. We'll try and get them on your screen here as you see them. Cody Graham currently 23 points above the cut line. Jake Musso 6 points up. Joe Musso is third, 3 points up. And Colin Johnston is fourth. He is 2 points up. Jacob Butcher, the first one out, he is 2 points below the cut line. Terry Landis is sixth. He is 4 points below the cut line. John Krupa seventh, 5 points below the cut line. And Roland Olson, the final driver in the round of 8, 8 points below the cut line. Will be a fun one here at Las Vegas Motor Speedway and a pretty good car count. 18 drivers with us here at the 1.5 mile D-shaped oval. And man, what a fun track this is for Next Gens at Las Vegas. In real life, the racing is always phenomenal, never disappoints. I wish that this could be the site of the Championship 4. Unfortunately, it's not a NASCAR track, so that is not the case. But it's such a cool track to race on, such a fun track. You'll see your 2 wide constantly. You'll sometimes see your 3x3 racing. It's a fun race to be a part of. So let's bring up the practice speeds here at the moment as you take a ride on board here with the leader currently, and that's Preston Cranmer, the Eli Outlaw in the number 07 with a 29.92 in Vegas. Cody Graham is second, 29.93. Jake Musso third, 29.93. Bob Light is fourth, 30.01, and Joe Canellis is fifth with a 30.02. Now, while we should be beginning things here around 8:30 this evening. Now, while the Cup Trail is very important to the 8 drivers left in the hunt for the championship, everybody else still with a chance to win the Fall Series in the Next Gen 2023 Season 4. And the man that comes in the best so far this season is that man, the driver of the Slide Job Racing Network 07. That is Bob Light. 20-point advantage on Roland Olson coming in, and Light with 2 wins on the season. Qualifying is underway. We'll try and pop up the first driver that is on the racetrack. And that first driver will be, I believe, Preston Cranmer. And that it will. And so here's a look at the man that was quickest of everybody in practice. '11th in points coming on in. 3 top 10s in 4 starts to begin the year. As for the trail, a total of 13 starts, 2 top 5s, and 6 top 10s. So qualifying is underway. As always, you see how it looks at the bottom of your screen. If you're in green, you're working on your fastest lap. If you're in purple, you're working on a pole lap. And if you're in the orange, well, you got to try again. Trying to get as low as possible on the banking here in qualifying. Kyle Moonen sets the bar on his first lap at a 30.34. Cranmer goes third at a 30.54. Let's bring up Butcher in car number 85 of the RSN Trackside Aspire Sim Racing ride. Currently a 10th off of Kyle Moonen's pace. New quick time to Jake Musso, 32.7 in car number 61. We'll have to see if Kyle Moonen, the 24, can top that. He's coming off of turn number 4. He has a better lap, quickest of anyone in Sector 2. Moonen, can he take her to the top? I don't think he was able to. He's 4th quick, 30.34. Joe Canellis, the quickest driver in qualifying. Where'd that come from? The Tin Can, 30.16 in qualifying. Jake Musso goes second, 31.7. Here comes Joe Musso across the start-finish line. Quickest of anybody in Sector 2. He takes her to the top at a 31.5. Let's go to Bob Light, the number 77. 8th quickest at a 30.35. Cody Graham goes 14th. That's his first lap of qualifying. Eddie Musso Jr. goes up to 3rd in lap number 2. Here comes Light off at turn 4. Good in Sector 1. And Purple in Sector 2. Let's watch this closely. Takes her to the top. Quick time by 400ths. That's the 77 of Bob Light. One man now stands in his way, and that's the number 2 of Cody Graham, who was green in Sector 1. He is green in Sector 2. This doesn't look like a pole lap, but it is. 30.09 Cody Graham in the round of 8 will start on pole for tonight's 60-lap race at Sin City, Las Vegas. Now that was a fun qualifying session. As we await the green flag, let us know who you're rooting for in the chat. Glad everybody could join us here on the Coast to Coast Racing Network. There you see the times on your screen. Cody Graham quickest at a 30.09. Second quick Bob Light, 30.11. Joe Musso third, 31.5. Joe Canellis fourth, 31.6. Eddie Musso Jr. fifth, 31.7. Jake Musso sixth, 31.7. Colin Johnston seventh, 30.24. Same with Jake Butcher. Ninth, Jeremy Tate, 32.6. And Steve Bixler 10th at a 30-32. You get a nice view from turn number 3. Of course, iRacing, the official simulator of Coast to Coast Racing League and the Slide Job Racing Network. And that finish line is where everyone looks to cross here tonight. This track seating 80,000. 20-degree bank is in the turns. One of the things as well you got to keep in mind of, and we'll just mention this briefly before we go green. We'll talk more about it during the race. That's the bumps on the racetrack, which can always freak a car out. Have to be careful of that at any given point in the race, whether you're on fresh tires or worn tires. Well, we're set to go racing here at Vegas, so let's meet the field and give you your catalytic recovery starting lineup. On the pole, it's Cody Graham in car number 2. Next to him, it's the 77 driven by Bob Light. Row number 2, it's the 63 of Joe Musso and the 1 of Tin Can, Joe Canellis. Row 3, the 62 of Eddie Musso Jr. Next to him, it's the 61 of the Moose, Jake Musso. Row 4, Cullen Johnson, he's in car number 13. And next to him, it's the 85 of Jacob Butcher. Rounding out the top 10, Jeremy Tate in the 8, and the Mayor, Steve Bixler, in the 75. Row 6, the Money King, Kyle Moonen in the 24, and JR, John Rayner in the 302. Row number 7, Andrew Coopersmith in the 45, and the Ayla Outlaw, Preston Cranmer, in car number 07. Row 8, Jim Bowie in the 058, and Hollywood, Roland Olson in the 003. Rounding out the grid this evening, the Desert Demon, Terry Landis, the 161, followed up by the 5 of the Laker in John Krupa. See the field as they look overhead. Here's the format for today's race. 60 laps around Las Vegas Motor Speedway. The pit window, 50% as always. The fuel window, 32 laps. So if you can hit the halfway point, you can make it the distance, but you have to beware. You got to be careful if this race goes to overtime. The field 9 rows deep. Ready to go green. As they make their way off at turn number 4, we say, where else would you rather be than right here, right now? The iRacing pace car, the Steve King Foundation pace car, makes the left-hand turn to pit road. We're in Sin City. There's a big race coming up here next month, but there's a big iRace happening right now. Showtime at Las Vegas. A lot of drivers jockeying around there off of turn number 2, but it's door-to-door for second between Bob Light and Joe Musso. 77 gets the advantage. He gets the banking off of turn number 4. One driver really loose, so that's Jake Butcher. Contact with Roland Olson. Everybody keeps it straight, though. We stay green. It's Cody Graham with the number 2 out in front. Light moves up to second. The Mussos, Joe and Eddie, 3rd and 4th. Joe Canellis down in the top 10. Kyle Moonen looks to make some moves early. He's up 2 spots in the Hardys, number 24. John Krupa, believe he did not have a good qualifying lap. He did take time in qualifying, but he is up 3 spots into the 15th position. He's side by side with Jacob Butcher. Butcher, who started all the way from the 8th position, just did not get a good launch and faded back because of it. Jeremy Tate, currently the quickest driver on track at a 33.8, currently in 8th position, tries to use the draft off of Jake Musso in the race for 7th. But everyone here just about single file, wanting to keep it patient here. A long race, obviously 60 laps, but we got trouble behind them. Krupa and Coopersmith, the 45 is around. And obviously no caution because they're all in the infield. And so because of that, we stay under the green flag. Let's see if we can get a look off the Malcolm's Mills mill riding replay. Coopersmith caught the wall in front of John Krupa. The 45 around and dodging and weaving through the grass. Probably explains it as well because he's a student driver. Canellis low on Eddie Musso for the 4th position. Canellis at the disadvantage because in turns 1 and 2, it's very bumpy in there. It can get the rear, it can freak out the rear end just a little bit. Let the steering and affect your steering just a bit. We'll ride on board here with Canellis if he's still on the bottom. Side by side. And I think he hit a bump there in turn number 3. Watched his car up the racetrack. Eddie Musso Jr. clears for the 4th spot. Take a ride on board here with Canellis. We'll show you what we're talking about. You see how bumpy it is there? You just feel it. You can't, if you have a butt kicker, you can feel it. You can only hear it if you've got the headphones on. Bob led a car length back on Cody Graham. Just wants to play it safer right now. Doesn't want to be too safe because he's got Joe Musso behind him. Now, I believe it was these two back in Texas now with Jake Musso that went at it for the win there, and they got together racing for the lead. Caution flag came out, and Bob Light ran out of fuel. So Light with the advantage, got a nice drive off at turn number 2, and we nearly won 3 wide down the back with Colin Johnston. Wanted to make a run at Tin Can, but just too risky too early. Something that can work out as well for the drivers, and I think we'll see it late in the race if drivers are racing for position. Off of turn number 4, if they can cut through that tri-oval underneath the white line, just don't go through the grass. Cut through there, and you'll be able to make some gain some track position, possibly gain some speed. So we'll just see what happens. Moonen making some moves once again. That's on Jake Musso for 7th, looking to go up 4 positions. Your biggest mover of the race so far. The Money King on and off with us on Thursday nights. 3rd start of the season for Moonen. He's yet to finish in the top 10 this fall. But we've got a challenge for the lead, guys. Bob Light looking low for the top spot. Oh, but he touched the apron, got a little bit sideways. Really sideways in turn 4. An extremely shallow exit. Tries to go through the dogleg, like I said. Trying to get that speed. Advantage Cody Graham, and he increases his lead to 0.2 of a second. And just look at this pack. In turn number 2, that was 5 cars side by side by side. 5 cars, 2 rows deep. That's a fun one to watch. But now they all get jumbled up as I think Eddie Musso caught the dogleg, and Johnston gets sideways, and Moonen gets sideways. Looking for all the track that they can get as we're 10 laps through to this one. On board that 62, and like we mentioned, one up on the burr, everyone hitting those bumps. You see it down the back chute, the top speed, well up to 190 miles an hour. It's insane here. Now the next driver to make some moves is the 13 of Johnston. Him and Moonen just split the 61 of Jake Musso, and now Moonen in 6th, Johnston up to 7th. It's everyone watching behind Cody Graham on board with the driver of the number 2. Let's see if Light makes a run downstairs. Decides not to. But now Moonen attacks on Kanellis, looks to break into the top 5. Now up 6 spots. The second driver that ties is up 2 spots, and that's Preston Kramer. But you saw Moonen get tied up a little bit. Had to let off to avoid hitting that 62. And Kanellis gets a huge run down the Nellis straightaway. And that draft helps him out. The 62 at a major disadvantage. But Kanellis has to be careful. Doesn't want to get in the gas too early because that car can get tight, go up the 20-degree turn, and in the wall hard. We saw that with Bubba Wallace last season, although that was thanks to contact off of Kyle Larson. So Jake Musso using that low line to his advantage. In 6th, but him and Moonen decide to go door-to-door for the spot. Advantage to Moonen, he can clear Jake. Everyone staying single file behind Cody Graham, who has led all the laps so far at Las Vegas Motor Speedway. Again, one of the 8 drivers in the playoffs. You see he's got that clean air in front of him. Remember, it's Graham, Jake and Joe Musso, Johnston, Butcher, Landis, Kruper, and Olsen that are in the playoffs. We got a little bit jumbled up from 3rd on back. There wasn't contact, but, you know, obviously a lot of hard racing could affect your momentum. And Musso low for 3rd. Kanellis keeping his foot on the throttle first. Pick up a gap. Meanwhile, Jake shuts the door on Kyle, wants to look low on the 62. Not sure if the Money King was really too pleased by that. Remember, a long race left to go. We're working lap number 17 of 60 at the moment here at Las Vegas. Fun race to close out. I mean, obviously this is a serious race for the drivers, but obviously a good way to close out the week here on the Coast to Coast Racing Network. This is week number 7 of 12 on the year, so we are now in the second half of the season. Of course, began the week with the World Finals, and congratulations to Blake Chapman, the salesman. Finished in the top 3 in the big block race on clinching the overall championship. The week kicks off Sunday with the midgets and pro late models at Lima Land. I'll be working the Monday night broadcast as always of the sprint cars. They run Kokomo on Monday. Eddie Musso Jr. loses a couple spots, but you saw Moonen get a little bit loose. Up the track he goes because Kanellis had to let off the throttle. I think the tires are starting to get to the drivers here. Is he right on board with the 1? We're seeing the tire fall off currently right now in 19 laps. Fall off by about 3 to 4 tenths of a second at the moment for the leaders. But from 4th through 6th, with how hard they were racing, that fall off was a half second, so they lost a tenth, an extra tenth there. Not what you want if you're the drivers in the middle of this lead pack. And it's still from 1st to 9th, separated by just about 2 seconds. Really, it is all about saving tires here at Las Vegas. This asphalt, 15 years old just about, and is a little bit abrasive. Not as abrasive as Auto Club or Atlanta was before they had their reconfiguration, but still a track that eats up tires. Here's Musso, second groove on Bob Light for 2nd. So we're 20 laps in the books. Trouble, John Rayner hard in the wall and collects Jake Butcher as both of them spin. First caution flag is out here at Las Vegas. And so this is going to make things a little bit interesting. They were 10 laps off of pitting. No surprise we'll see everybody come in to top off on fuel. But will they do 2 tires or 4 tires is the question. Let's look at JR in the 302. Get an idea of what happened. Maybe this replay can show us. So Rayner was already in the wall. I don't know if there was contact with the 85 of Butcher. Let's rewind this further back and see how this started. Both of them racing hard for position, simply put. And off of 4, I think Butcher just got loose. Up high, yeah. A little bit loose and catches Rayner. And so that's how they get into it. Let's see if we have a static shot here. We do. Watch the static shot. Not the best. So, but leaders are coming in now. It'll be interesting. 2 tires or 4 tires? What do you take here? Well, watch the 2 of Cody Graham stop, and you see the times on the bottom of your screen. Away goes Steve Bixler by himself. He missed his pit box. But the race off pit road, it's going to be a close one at the line. It was Cody Graham, and everyone took 4 tires. Everyone decided to go the 4 tires and fuel route. It was Graham, followed by Musso, Jake Musso, Light, Kyle Moonen, and Joe Musso. That's the top 5. We come back to the green flag. 22 laps complete. We'll step aside and take a break. Restart coming up in just a moment. Coming back to the green on this restart. Here's the front row. Cody Graham and Jake Musso teammates. Row 2, Bob Light and Kyle Moonen. Row 3, Joe and Eddie Musso teammates. Row 4, Colin Johnston, Preston Cranmer. Rounding out the top 10, Joe Canellis and Roland Olson. Wrapping up our first Gambler Motorsports caution after John Rayner and Jacob Butcher got together coming off turn 4. Well, as we get set to come back to green, I'm going to shut up. You guys turn up the volume. We're going to crank it up here early at Las Vegas. Couple laps shy of going halfway, and it's still Cody Graham out in front on board Bob Light. Closest driver to take the lead from Cody Graham. As remember, they were side by side before the first caution came out. About probably 10 laps or so before the first yellow flag flew, and Light got loose, touched the apron in turn number 4. Now he's back in the second position. Canellis, a big loser off the restart. He's down in 7th, but him and Olsen touch. And a dangerous part on the racetrack. Preston Cranmer and makes more contact with Olsen. They even back off the throttle from the looks of it. And the LA Outlaw takes 9th. Brings his teammate Jeremy Tate with him to try and go to 10th. It's a rambunctious racing happening mid-pack as the field goes down the back. Tate's able to clear Hollywood. Let's go to turn number 4, where the top 7 all nose to tail single file, separated by 1.3 seconds. As we have hit the halfway point, 30 laps down, 30 laps to go here at Las Vegas. Again, if you've just joined us, Marty Scala with you. Glad you join us on the Coast to Coast Racing Network this evening. Here's Moonen looking on Light for second, but the advantage could go to the 77 here if he gets the drive off at turn 4. Picks that momentum up, which he doesn't, though. And Moonen barely edges out Light at the line. I think it was by 100th. But Light gets the advantage off at turn number 2. Now does he get a chance to pull down low? Cody Graham, he cannot. We did, though, have a new fastest lap last time by, and it was Jake Butcher in the RSN trackside number 85, put down a 29.96 last lap. Best lap of everyone that last time by, a 30.05 by the 8th place car in Joe Canellis. Moonen with a run underneath. Follows the 2. Light gives him the opening, but has to back out of it because that car looked tight on corner entry. And oh, Light's loose off for 4. A little bit too high off the corner. He catches it, but both drivers lost a 10th that time. So the gap now a quarter of a second behind Cody Graham. Light didn't get loose that time, luckily. Clear going into turn number 3. He can, but he drives it in deep up the track. Here comes the 24. This is on board with Jake Musso. Moonen clears to second, highest he's been in the race. Remember, he started back from 11th. And now he's getting a huge run on the 2 of Cody Graham. Was a 10th off of Graham last time by. This time, this has to be much faster. Oh, but hang on a second. Light wants second back. Moonen shuts the door. 2/10 better was Kyle Moonen. And he's in striking distance to take the lead for the GKM number 2. Meanwhile, another member of the Moose Clan, Jake Musolo for 3rd. Bob Light fading. Could be in some trouble, but a lot of defense trying to fight. And that's 77. Eddie Musso wants to go with them. Under our commercial break we had under the first caution, because of the situation with fuel issues, a lot of drivers were in 5th gear clutching, making sure that they would be okay to go the distance. Cody Graham was one that clutched in 5th gear. Here's the disadvantage he has right now with the single file train. You see that? Clean air, full throttle. Luckily though, you can let off in the corners here. On the straights, though, Kyle Moonen could have the slight advantage laying off the straights while keeping speed. We'll just have to see what happens if this race does go the distance. It's going to be very, very interesting. Jake Musso and Bob Light, the race for 5th. Cullen Johnston wants Joe Musso for 6th. You just saw that in the background of your screen. Half a car length separates the top 2. Let's go back to the second half of the field and show you some other exciting racing. And man, that's a good race. Canellis, Tate, Olson, Landis, and Butch. You know, some of these drivers have been in the back of the pack all race long. Like, take Roland Olson, or behind him, Terry Landis. But they are still duking it out for positions with other drivers. And Olson nearly kisses the wall off of 2. Bob Light with company from 3rd. Here comes the 61. Jake Musso to the 3 spot with 20 to go. Find them, Jeremy Tate. Joe Canellis. Canellis been fading off this restart. Olson's in the wall, though. Landis and Butcher take evasive action, and I thought Landis was about to spin into the inside wall like Jeff Gordon did in 2008 at Vegas. That would have been a sledgehammer shot for the Desert Demon. Back to 4th. Bob Light may lose another spot. This time it's Eddie Musso Jr. And you know, Joe's not going to fight Eddie for this position. He wants Eddie to get up there and pass Bob Light, so that way the 63 can go with him. Oh, trouble, Cullen Johnston? Nope. Johnston brings his ride onto pit road. So Johnston could not go the distance. You know what I think he's doing? He's coming into pit road now and topping off on fuel. That way he can go full throttle to the end. He wants to forget about trying to save fuel now. He knows he couldn't go the distance, so he's the first one onto pit road, making sure as well that he has enough in case we go overtime. But that's a risky strategy off the number 13. And he's decided to take tires too. I think this will be a 2-tire stop most likely. Nope, decides to go 4, which is interesting. Canellis and Tate touch at the line for 8th. And Bob Light just lost 4th to Eddie Musso. Preston Cranmer also a part of this fight, and he may have just signaled that he may be pitting this time. I'm not too sure. Ooh, Cranmer really tight. He's got a problem. with that 07. Really tight to turn number 3 and makes contact. Hard to the wall he goes and collects Jeremy Tate. And the strategy backfires on both Olsen, Rayner, as well as Colin Johnston. Everybody will be able to go the distance. And so it was well worth the wait for all the other drivers. I just said it. Colin Johnston's strategy may backfire on him, and it just did. And Roland Olsen and John Rayner had the exact same strategy in mind. Let's go to Preston Kramer and show you in real time another angle of what happened. He saw he just got loose off of 4. I think there was contact with Landis, and Jeremy Tate has nowhere to go. Let's run on board here with Tate. Here's a look in real time. Man, heavy lick and a great camera shot. Track cams by Ishvan is who we use for cameras. Gotta give him credit whenever we do that. And Cranmer nearly went upside down when he went through the grass. And so everyone making their final fuel stops here. With 15 to go, everybody will be able to go the distance. Free pass car should be Roland Olsen. But now we watch the final stops here. This is just the yellow as well, in my opinion, that not just Kyle Moonen wanted, but also what Bob Light wanted, because both of them were fading to the leader. I mean, obviously Moonen was in second, just lost the leg ground. Joe, wrong pit box. He went in way too hot. And Cody Graham wins the race off pit road. Jake Musso second, so Moonen loses a spot on pit road. Eddie Musso fourth, Joe Musso fifth, and Bob Light is down to sixth. All right, so also hearing as well that Colin Johnston also gets a lap back. He'll get back on the lead lap. And Rayner's also on the lead lap, and same with Roland Olsen. But that backfired on him because guys like Colin Johnston, he pitted on lap 42. He has 4 laps of scuffs compared to the leaders, and he starts in the back. All right, so should be 1 to green this time, and it is Olsen. Johnston both get a lap back. And so the Musos, or the GKM team, I should say, have the front row. And it's an 11-lap shootout to try and go the distance and see what happens. Cody Graham and Jake Musso. That's row number 1. Kyle Moonen, Eddie Musso Jr., row 2. Joe Musso, Bob Light, row 3. Jake Butcher, John Krupa, row 4. Terry Landis, Preston Cranmer round out the top 10. So even after Cranmer's spin, Cranmer's wreck, he does get to restart in the 10th spot. 11 laps to go when we come back to green to Las Vegas. Everybody good to go the distance. Now all that matters is who gets to cross the finish line first. Nice restart from Graham as he was able to fire first. That leaves Moonen and Jake Musso racing for second. But Moonen has a trio of Mussos behind him. And Jake may make the overtake for second with a drafting partner behind him in Eddie. Jake on the gas first compared to Kyle. A great drive in the center of 3 and 4. They touch at the line. One driver on the apron, that's Canellis. We have 10 laps to go. 4 cars racing for second. Could be 5 with Bob Light. Helping out Cody Graham, increase his lead to 0.4 of a second. And Jake takes the spot away. I believe that's the highest he has been in this race. And so Joe and Eddie door to door for the 4th position. Your top 2, Cody and Jake, racing for a spot in the championship 4. Keep that in mind. And Jake's got some catching to do on Cody Graham, 2/10 behind him. Bob may lose 5th to Joe Musso. Actually, Bob takes 5th away, I should say, from Joe Musso. He gets to be a part of this race. Now Moonen wants to take second back. That's just what Graham wants to see. All about side drafting now in the corner, down the straights. In addition to the corners. Starting to get aggressive. Look how close the 61 to 24 were. Probably the closest anyone's been up in the top 5. When it comes to side-by-side racing, they bang in the center. Everybody catches it. We're still on board with the 24. Let's watch the 62. He decides to work with his teammate. 7 to go. Mooner with the advantage. Jake drops back in line. Does he try the crossover off of turn 2? And he does. Wants the run entering turn 3. And that last time by, guys, Cody Graham said his best lap of the day at a 31.2 was a 10th better than Moonen and Jake. This should be better by another 10th. The gap is a half second. One of the biggest leads that we have seen today by the driver of the 2. We do have a new driver that's the quickest on track, and that's Roland Olson at a 29.93. I believe that's the second 29-second lap that we have had today at Las Vegas. And it is. Make it a 29.92 for Butcher. We've got one off track. It's Joe Canellis. He keeps it straight, so no caution. We stay green. Butcher, the quickest car on track in 7th, and he is catching the leaders. As you see, Joe and Bob race for 5th. Did not see that coming out of the RSN Trackside 85. But remember, he wrecked on the second caution. And I think was able to get a quick repair to that race car. 4 laps to go. Meanwhile, for Cody Graham, is Jake and Bob race for 5th, or Joe and Bob race for 5th. Saw a couple more 29-second laps. This time Kyle Moonen and Jake Musso. And Kyle has cut the gap down 0.3. It's 0.2 of a second as they have 3 laps remaining at Las Vegas. That time by Moonen was better by 1/10.5. This is far from over for Cody Graham to try and punch his ticket in the championship 4. Same with Jake Musso. Kyle Moonen wants to be the spoiler and get his first win of the season on the Cup Trail. Two laps to go. Now, what do you do here if you're Kyle Moonen? If you're on that spoiler at the white flag, you got to either look low or you got to send it into turn number 3. But now that he has Jake Musso behind him, that's just what Graham wants to see. Have a teammate help him out of the GCAM Racing span. It's a half car length between the top 2. As they come off of 4. Moonen trying to search his lines, try and get some options. Graham breaking the draft. That's what he wants to do. White is out. 1 lap to go. It's 0.2 of a second into turn 1. Moonen enters high, trying to get it on the gas first. Musso with a run off of turn number 2. That's just what Graham wants to see. Does the 24 have anything for the number 2? Moonen drives into the corner deep. Won't have anything off of turn number 4. Cody Graham is going to the championship 4. He wins at Las Vegas. Dominated this race. Kyle Moonen 2nd. Jake Musso 3rd. Eddie Musso Jr. 4th. Bob Light rounds out the top 5. Moonen the hard charger up 9 spots from 11th to 2nd. Terry Landis up 8 spots from 17th to 9th. And we're looking forward to seeing the Liverpool native do a burnout. But first, the top 3 to pose for a photo for the social media. You see how the field looks. Graham the winner, Moonen 2nd. Jake and Eddie Musso 3rd and 4th. Light 5th. Joe Musso 6th. Butcher 7th. Johnson 8th. Landis 9th. And Olson 10th. Rest of the field, 11th Bixler, 12th Tate, 13th Krupa, 14th Bowie, 15th Rayner, 16th Canellis, 17th Cranmer, and 18th Cooper Smith. Well, I think we have 2 of our 3, but I think we are good to bring in our 3rd place driver in Jake Musso. Jake, walk us through your race here today. A great 3rd place run definitely helps you out, pick up some points, trying to make it in the championship 4.
Yeah, it started off pretty crappy. I can't qualify or I don't have short run speed on these things. Especially here, I struggle here a lot. I do have long run speed here. I don't know. I think I just babied it too much early in the run. So I was just taking it easy in the beginning and started making my way past people in front of me. I was like 6th or 7th, and I got up to 2nd there before the caution came out, which I was pretty disappointed in because I thought I was going to be able to get Cody there for track position. And then, yeah, just starting on the outside, I had no speed, and Moonen got around me, and I was like, well, there goes there goes my chance at the win because it's going to take too long for my car to come in, and just glad Cody held on for the win there.
Yeah, did Cody give you a big thank you very much for trying to race Kyle there in the end for a second, try and affect his momentum at the same time?
No, but I think he knew I was going to do that anyways because I wanted 2nd or 1st. You know, I hate being 3rd, but especially I want to go into the championship 4, and we'll probably get it done next week. But, yeah, no, I'm glad Cody got done, and he's in championship 4, so hopefully we can get another GCAM car up there.
Who do you want to give shout-outs to on the run?
All the boys at GCAM Racing, Fast Ace, Hot Rods, Main Street Auto, You for a great broadcast, and Coast to Coast for a great league.
Alrighty. Well, we'll let you go. Great run tonight, and best of luck next week.
Thank you.
Jake Musso, our third place finisher this evening. Let's go to Kyle Moonen finishing second. Kyle, gotta be tough, man.
Marty.
What more did you need for Cody this evening?
Man, I don't know. I don't know if more laps. I was really good when, probably about 5 or so laps into the run, and I could stay on him, but really unless he made a big mistake, I think I was going to have trouble actually passing him, no matter what. I might have got next to him, but he was definitely quick too. So was Jacob.
Walk us, what was your strategy going into the final laps? I mean, you were catching Cody Graham. Were you just trying to be patient, try and see if he made a mistake? Were you searching for different lines? What was your game plan those final laps?
Mostly get to him. I was trying to search around a little bit. I kind of knew where I was quicker than him. Getting through 1 and 2, I was trying to get a run coming off of 1 and 2 so I could enter into 3 a little bit early. When you drove it in on the bottom, right on the white line, it stuck down there pretty well, and I gained a lot of ground on, pretty much everyone. I actually passed quite a few people in that spot tonight, it seemed like. So that's what I was aiming for, but he was quick too, so he was definitely a little bit different.
Who do you want to give shout outs to on the run?
Just all the guys at Bandy Built, and you guys for the broadcast, and everyone for the league.
All right, well, we'll let you go. Great job. Hopefully we'll talk to you next week.
All right, you too. Thanks, Marty.
Kyle Moonen finishing second. And we now go to your winner, and he is in the championship 4. That, of course, is Cody Graham. Cody, how's it feel? You got a chance at winning a championship in the trail.
Good. It's always good when I talk to you. I don't think I have in a while. So, I just wanted to get into the last 4, and, I didn't. You never expect to win, especially in this field, because there's a lot of quick guys, and so it means a lot to get in with a win, and then the next 2 races I can kind of breathe easy and just kind of not take it off, but I can just have a nice relaxing race and not have to stress too much until I get to Phoenix where I'm terrible. But that's the fun of it, and happy to be it.
Did you expect to be this dominant tonight?
No, I mean, at the start, I knew I could turn 1 lap speed, and I also knew I had long race pace. It was that in between that I wasn't sure, because I didn't really practice it, and I didn't really know because I didn't really test myself. So, I didn't really want to see that yellow come out, because that was that in between spot where it was really an unknown. But yeah, I just I know I had comparable pace, and it's really hard to pass here, especially just because everyone's so close together. And I knew I didn't even really check my mirrors till like the end. I knew he was getting one heck of a drive, getting into 3 on the inside. So I just tried backing up the corner a little bit, so that way he'd either have to blip the throttle, or he'd have to lose his momentum, and then I could drive longer off the corner and hopefully keep him behind me down the straightaway. And I think it worked just good enough. Because I knew. So I started to have more pace than him at the end of a run. So I think, he was beating up his tires a little bit more than I was. So I was just trying to hold on there for that intermediate stint.
Obviously, you're in the show, so you don't in the championship 4, so you don't have to worry about winning your way in or pointing your way in next week. What are your thoughts going into Homestead then next week?
I have never driven Homestead in any vehicle, so it's going to be a fun Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday of all 3 cars on that track. I don't really know what to expect. But yeah, since I'm already in, I don't really have to sweat it too much and, spend a bunch of time practicing or anything. I'm just going to go in and wing it, and, whatever happens, happens. And hopefully, we can get a couple more GKM cars in there and, have a real fun final race at Phoenix.
Who do you want to give shout outs to?
You for picking up the broadcast, because, this series is, in between. Sometimes we got a broadcaster, sometimes we don't. And, this series, I mean, today there was only one yellow, and it was close, and sometimes that can be boring because there wasn't too much passing going on. But this series and the Xfinity series has really picked it up, and it's been really clean and really good. So it's good to get it broadcasted. So big shout out to you, Roger, and everyone for putting on the league, and then all my GCAM teammates.
Alrighty. Well, we'll let you go. Congratulations on the win. Hopefully we'll talk to you next week.
All right. See you. Thank you.
Cody Graham, he is your winner. And congratulations to him on getting it done. So as we pack things up here, here's the schedule for next week on the Coast to Coast Racing Network. And here's how it looks. Sunday, we have Extreme eSpeed TV Sunday Night Showdown with midgets and pro late models at Lima Land. That begins at 7:30. Monday night is Osh Weekend Speedway's Monday Night Madness with the Sprint Cars at Kokomo. That's at 7:45 p.m. Tuesday night is Asphalt Tuesday, where the NASCAR Truck Series is at Homestead Miami Speedway, so you don't want to miss out on that. Wednesday night, the Hometown Heroes, brought to you by Flatline Racing Bodies, continue with the Sprint Cars at Kern County and the Xfinity Series at Homestead. Thursday night is Gambler Motorsports Thursday Night Thunder. Next week, we've got the small and big blocks at USA, and the next gent at Homestead Miami Speedway. So that'll do it for us here this evening. On behalf of everyone at the Coast to Coast Racing Network, Extreme eSpeed TV, and all the fine drivers and sponsors, Roger Craig, Preston Kretmer, the fine group of admins, and I'm Marty Sakala signing off here for tonight. Congrats to your winner, Cody Graham. He gets it done at Las Vegas. So long, everyone.